All right. Hello, everyone. What is this? It's a collab video. I have not done one of these in so long. So I am doing a collab with Poofables on Twitter, or that's how I've known her, or PoofyLion. I will have her socials and links and stuff in the link tree link, not the link tree link, that's my stuff. I will have her stuff above my stuff for the collab, as well as the link to her half of the collaboration. Yes, I will also have her socials there so you can see the pictures finalized. I'll have her Twitter links and everything. But, yeah. Anyway, so, who is Poofables? PoofyLion. PoofyLion and Poofables is a mutual that I have had for many years. And she is actually the one who created the original art for my sweet succubi. And I've had them and done art of them for years. For the longest time, it was the three sisters, which was Cirque, Skelly, and Willow. And then I slowly have been accumulating more and more since then. And I've always been such a fan of Poofy's work. I mean, just look at this. Look at this beautiful Swoft. This isn't soft. She has a Swoft style for when she drew my girl Skelly in it. And I love it so much. And I'm so happy I was able to do a collab with her again. The last one we did was a long time ago. It was before she even had a YouTube channel. Because yes, she does have a YouTube. She does not post often, but I know she wants to post more speed paints and stuff like that. And because of her stuff, that's also why I have two versions of this video going up. I have a non-commentary, music-y speed paint version, so you guys want to just watch that. It's more like her content on her channel, but that way there's that, and then I have the commentary one where I talk about my process and stuff like that, and just some other things here and there throughout it, because it wouldn't be a TwistedDisaster video if I didn't have a Michi ramble, right? So, Poofy, I don't know if while listening to this, you're doing a talkie one. That'll be interesting if you are, but I don't believe she is. I think she's just doing a speed painty version, which is also fine. But I have been mutuals for her with her for a very long time. Every time we've chatted, we've had a blast and stuff like that, but she was doing a thing on Twitter where she recently wanted to do like more collaborations and reach out and stuff. And so I thought, ooh, I'll do that. I can do that. I have a platform I don't mind sharing on. And as I've always told you guys, I love putting my platform out there and using my reach to help people who I feel very much worth it. And she is definitely someone I think who very much is worth it. Because not only does she make some really cute adoptables and stuff like that, but she also just has some amazing soft art. Just look at it. I know I keep bringing it up, but I had so much fun doing this on my Ipadpro. And I used, before anybody asks, I did use the dry ink brush. I do not mess with the settings in it. I just mess with the brush size. The basic dry ink brush that comes with Procreate for all the inking. And then for the coloring, I did my normal method of doing flats, filling the flats, and then doing my shading and stuff on a separate layer. Something I wanted to try differently with this one, though, is I really wanted to do something with the eyes, because Poofy always has, like, a very distinct eye style, as you can see by me inking it, unless I'm editing this wrong and you're not looking at the eyes while I'm doing this. I'm trying to do the thing where I watch the speed paint while I'm talking so I can kind of be in sync with it. Hopefully, we can pray. I'm not a professional here, but anyway, because she did those like nice big eyelashes and stuff that I'm not used to, what I usually do is I like to keep the eyelashes like a dark or a black, but I wanted to have it be more like Skelly's eyes. Now, let me talk about my sweet succubi for a hot second, because it was originally Poofy's idea when Poofy made them. And I do own the rights to my characters. Poofy has said so. But Poofy makes the adoptables, and I don't believe she makes sweet succubi anymore. But the whole point was that they are succubi and incubi based off of food. So Skelly, like on screen right now, she's based off of sugar skulls. Like I'm sure you've seen like the Instagram pictures and stuff like that, where they are just, sugar cubes in the shape of skulls. But I love the soft colors that Poofy always came up with, which is why I always recommend, like, getting adoptables even if you do like making your own characters, because you might find characters that are, like, really out of your comfort zone and out of your, like, niche for, like, colors and aesthetics, but you're gonna end up loving. And that's what happened with these, and that's why I love these babies, and I love drawing them and working with them and making stories with them. And I may be planning something in the future, but don't hold your breath. You guys know me in planning. The universe sure loves to mess it up for me. But anyway, I had such fun coloring this and feeling like I was able to get a lot done. Something else I've been doing to save me on the colored lines is, as you can tell from the flat stage I'm doing right now, I'm overlining it to where it goes through the line art. So when I am done, I can simply copy the flats layer, move it to the line art layer, clip it to the line art layer, and then make the line art on multiply. So that way I have nice colored lines, but they're still darker than the rest of the picture, but it still adds such a nice softness to the whole thing because, you know, Skelly and Poofy's style is soft. How many times am I going to say soft in this video? I know, I'm terrible, but it's really something I love about her style, and when she does her little speed paints and stuff like that, and her aesthetics and her things. Another thing Poofy's really, really good at is doing a very beautiful lineless style. And it's something that's always really inspired me a lot when I've done lineless work, and I am just really, really surprised by it. But let's go on to another thing real quick. A little quick topic tangent while I'm talking. And it is, you know, reaching out when you feel it's a good time. I know a lot of people have talked about, like, I've literally had people tell me that I'm apparently really intimidating to talk to and approach, and I don't think I am. I don't mean to be. If I am, I'm very sorry. But in the same vein, you know, we need to find this good middle ground, and it's hard sometimes as people to, when we see someone we really care about, and we've, you know, had good instances in the future, to, if we see that opening, take that opening. Like I said, I've been talking off and on to with Poofy for years, and we've only ever had good things to say with each other, you know, but we were never really, like, you know, friends like how I am with my other friends, but we always got along really well. And I think that's something that other people need to see and look at, because a lot of times we'll get in our own heads and we'll be like, oh, so-and-so is so much better at something than me, or so-and-so is so much more popular than me, or, yeah, we get along, but I mean, sometimes people are just shy. I know I'm also bad about this, because sometimes, like, I was the one, I mean, Poofy did ask, but I offered because I was like, hey, we could do something fun together, you know? Sometimes it is hard, though, when, like, you have nothing to talk about or to relate to. And that's something I would like to change, but I'm happy that I'm taking more of those chances, and I think you should too. But the difference being, because you have to be very careful when you say stuff like this, is you need to make sure the other person is willing and open to it. I do apologize very greatly, but I do get quite a bit Instagram, like quite often. Proper grammar, Michelle. Come on, you can do this. I do get DMs quite often on my Instagram from random people trying to chit chat with me, trying to start conversations with me, and I genuinely feel really bad, because I'm terrible at checking Instagram DMs. I'm terrible at just checking Instagram in general. And I know my Twitter DMs are closed right now, but I do use those for mostly work. But I do like talking with people. I do like interacting with people and making new bounds, but I've also been hurt a lot in the past, and so because of that, that's why I don't like being too open out there. I like having interactions with people, talking back and forth publicly on Twitter, in live streams, things like that, you know, through Instagram not the DMs. I just said don't do DMs. I meant through, like, comments and stuff. It's how I've slowly learned that I've been able to make a lot of my art friends. A lot of my friendships with my newer art friends have all stemmed from us just openly talking with each other and starting to create bonds that way, than simply just, you know, sliding into DMs and pouring things out there. It's waiting for things to be open and taking that chance when they were, you know, because I know it's hard and it's a weird thing to justify. But I'm really happy that I reached out to Poofy when Poofy made that public, like, hey, I want to do stuff post, because in my little heart of hearts, I'm like, oh, she's probably not going to want to do it. And then she was like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, you know, I'm happy I took that jump. And that's me out here saying, if you see that opening, take that jump. But in that same vein, don't push for the opening to happen either. You don't exactly know what people are going through, what's happening in their lives, you know, or whether or not it is something that you yourself are mentally prepared for. I know there were many times where people tried reaching out to me, and I was just in a bad headspace. So I didn't want to be rude, but I couldn't be my normal self, because that would be putting on an act, and I didn't want to do that. And I'm sure you listening right now, you don't want to do that either. And I know that can be really intimidating and stressing at some points, but when you see those openings, take them, you know, and do things like that. So that way you can create friendships and bonds with things like that and people. Because I see a lot of artists, and I do genuinely feel bad. But another big thing is, like, don't openly ask. I get this a lot. My friends get it a lot. And if you don't see it talked about anywhere or open, then it probably means that they're not really willing to right now. You know, they could be going through stuff, or maybe they don't want to. Like, it stems from, I see a lot of people who do not take commissions. Yes, artists do exist that don't take commissions. And they'll get badgered all the time, being like, oh, well, why don't you take commissions? I want to commission you. I love your art. And it's like, well, some people don't want to. And that's fine, but you shouldn't push for it. Just like, realistically, you shouldn't push for engagement and for, well, not engagement. What am I talking about? This is why you don't do audio at midnight, guys. Well, I'm saying you don't push the boundaries, and it takes time, it takes practice. We've all been there, but as long as people are open and responsive to it, take the jump, take the leap. I've made some of my best friendships with taking those leaps. And with that being said, let's finish into the art, why don't we? Because I'm already rambling and going on tangents. So I wanted to try to have her tail look a bit more 3D with the shading here. Again, hopefully it looks like it. But hey, ADHD brain, talking about multiple things at once and changing topics. Anybody else have me there? You relate? Maybe? Yes? No? Who knows? Anyway, I was trying to do things where I wanted the shading from her tail to pop out a bit more, both from her thigh to back, so that way you can see some of the light in doing so. I also really liked how Poofy drew her little bracelet as like a necklace kind of thing, because Skelly has a little like key bracelet, and I think that's also really cute. And also a big thing I've been doing with my art lately, which I'm sure you all can tell, is the foreshadowing. I brought it back. Same with the soft blur that I'm going to do in a little bit. With the soft blur, I've been feeling it's been adding a new level to my art that makes me really, really happy. You know, I find it funny how we as artists, I know this really is a ramble, ain't it? I'm just all over the damn place. But we as artists tend to like go back to things we used to do. I remember back in the day, well, back when I actually first knew Poofy, actually, my art style was so fluffy and so like the shading wasn't that good, my colors weren't that good. And now I'm like, I finally learned color theory and basic lighting and shading and highlights and how to somewhat shade things interesting enough to where I want to have more of that softness back, but I don't want to have a full painterly style either. So let's see if I can combine the two. And by combining the two, it was actually really, really easy. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, all I do is I've been using this peachy tone. I really like this peachy tone. And I've been using the peachy tone. I've been doing my shading on a separate layer. And then I do a clipping mask layer above that peachy tone of the same peachy tone at multiply, where it's more strong. Then I do my deeper shadings. I add more depth to it. And then, depending on the mood and the picture and the colors I'm working with, because Skelly is such a soft pastel-y character, or muted, because she's not really pastel, she is more muted. I was like, all right, I'm going to change the opacity of the multiply layer of the above ground shading. And so with that, I get it to, and it's different from piece to piece, but I vary it, then I merge it down. I take that darkest shading, so that multiply layer, that darker shading. And what I do, that is a Discord notification. I thought I muted my phone. Whoops. What you do is you take that shading and I add a new layer. I make a duplicate layer of the shading. I fill it, and then I go to Gaussian blur, however you say it. I go to the blur, the G blur on Procreate or Photoshop. I think Sci 2 has that too. I don't know about Clip Studio Paint. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still old. I just got to my iPad. I don't Clip Studio Paint yet. I know I'm so behind on the times, but please forgive your girl. She's trying. What I end up doing is I end up taking it and blurring it, and then when I blur it, I don't want it to be too extreme to where it overpowers the piece, but I like doing it at about like a 5.9, depending on the size of the picture. That's what I've been shooting for. It's been a good range. And then I merge that one under my shaded layer, combine them, clip them, multiply that layer, and then I do my own little simple method of grabbing the colors from the thing and messing with the hue and saturation to make it pop more. Again, if this was more of a mood lighting piece, I would have more of, thank you, living on a street. My windows are closed. I don't know if you heard that but all my windows are closed. But, joys of living in a city. What was I saying? Right, the shading and the blur. When I'm doing just a basic character floating there in, the existence of floats, because I made Poofy's character float when I get to the sketching portion, which, unlike my normal collabs, I usually use my sketch first and then the coloring, but I did have much, much more to say, excuse me, about the coloring and the stuff and the rambles with Poofy's, hence why that one's first. Yep, that's right. So when I get into my sketching portion, I'll be able to talk about that. But I like doing that blur, and then what I do is, once I have my lines layered and colored like I have it multiply, I duplicate that layer, and then I copy the top, and with the top layer, I both still on multiply, I do the blur, and I have it match 5.9 with the shading. And then I just merge everything down once it's all nice and smooth. If I have more, like, I'm trying to make something look like reflective or shiny. This isn't technically how like proper lighting works, but I like how it works. Is I like going back once everything's been, you know, I got that nice soft layer and blur. I go around it to make it seem like there's like more light reflecting off. It makes it a little more rounded. I don't know if I'm the only other one who does that, but I like the harshness of that look compared to the rest of the soft look. But yeah, and that's my piece with Poofy. Now let's get into my sketching portion. And here we go for my portion of the collab, besides the coloring, because that was all me. So you're gonna see me struggling really hard with this sketch because I was lucky enough and I really wanted to do Poofy's secondary persona, I believe is what she calls her, Mabon, or Mabon, however you want to say it. But yes, I know. What is this? Surprise, surprise. Yeah, Poofy's a furry. I find it funny. I get questions quite a lot about people like, what are your opinions on furries? I'm like, they're cool. They're chill. Some of my best friends are furries. Some of my people I love are furries. It really doesn't matter to me as long as you're not like weird. Like, I'm weird, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, and something I like doing is, I was trying to do the Digiform legs, or whatever they're called. Digidestin. No. Because Mabon has those legs, and it just, for the pose I was trying to go for, it was not working out for me. And I was having some real difficulty redrawing them legs, and I did quite a few cheat sheets where I copied, like, shapes and stuff to have proportions right. But it was just not working out, and I this is also a very big reason why I tend not to record my sketching phase unless I absolutely have to, like for a collab like this, because I end up just messing, tweaking, fiddling with, cheating, doing all sorts of things in the sketching phase until I like it and get it right. Something I really liked was in Lavender Town's, one of Lavender Town's newest videos, she was talking about how, like, you know, a bunch of art hacks that are like technically cheating, but they're not if it's in the sketching phase, because they're tools that are created and used to help our lives be a little easier. So I really recommend that video if you guys watch Lavender Town. But it made me feel a lot better about myself and a lot of the hackies and stuff that I do, because a special example is like here. I have not drawn full bodies, guys, in so long because I just haven't been commissioned to. Almost all of my commissions have been bust chibis. Yeah. Which isn't bad, but I just haven't done them in so long, and I've been working on my backlog, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so rusty. So another thing that helped me out a lot was I just looked up a reference. I did not want to deal with trying to come up with one on my own. So I looked up a reference, I tweaked things, I messed with some things, but it felt really weirdly nice to draw a furry again. I know probably a lot of you guys don't know this, but for the longest time, I don't like saying I had a furry phase, because I didn't, but I hung out with a lot of furries. So at that time, a lot of my characters that weren't like the marked cast and stuff were furry and anthro adjacent, and that was because that's the people I was hanging out with. Hence when I got into star dragons, because star dragons are like diet furries. But something I really like doing when I'm in my sketching phase and in my planning phase, as you can see here, I like to I'm going to be talking about it in a tips video coming soon later on, but I like having a square that's the exact size of the bigger canvas, and I like drawing tiny when I sketch it out. And then when I see it all fits in the frame, it helps me. It's like thumbnailing without thumbnailing. And so I do those sketches, I get the ideas done, and then when I have the basic idea, I tend to blow it up. Now, I ended up refining the sketch a lot because I was sending this off to Poofy to color, which you will watch her do in the link down below. Can I say that enough times? Anyway, but I knew that because Poofy was going to be coloring it, I didn't want to do what I normally do is my sketches are normally very messy, and then I fix things up in my line art stage because I'm like finally at that confidence point where I'm like, yep, my line art can fix a lot of my sketch mistakes, and I know what I was going for. And I'm very proud of myself that I was able to finally level up to that point. And it feels great when you are at that point where you're finally really confident in your lines, which is also something I'll probably do in like that tips video when that video comes out, most likely later on this month. But anyway, I'm rambling. Mabon has this really cute, like, sweatery, aprony outfit. And so what I wanted to do, because I know I don't see a lot of furries do this, and I think it's really cute, is because most of the time they're like, oh yeah, our tails have like a tail pocket or something. And I was like, no, I'm going to have her little skirt be over her tail. So when her tail foofs up, you know, it goes with her little skirt. Because I think that's really cute. Also, not proud of the feet. I will openly admit, I really hope Poofy fixes those feet, because looking back on it now, I messed with those feet so many darn times, guys. I just do not like how those paws came out. But I just definitely need more practice, and that's why practice is a good thing. Another thing I really recommend doing when you're in your sketching phase is, babies, flip your sketches. Flip your sketches. Please, you will see how proportionate something is and how much it's not, and you will fix so many things that way when you do that. So, to end off here, I think I should say to my little sketching things, I just use the basic, I think it was the 2B pencil, again, just messing with the size. I don't tend to mess with my Photoshop brush, or my Procreate brushes. I know I should, all the hip kids do, but when I find something I like, I'm like, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, anyway, I had such a blast. Poofy, loved collabing with you. I genuinely can't wait to see the video because it's going on the same time as this one is. So I'm definitely gonna check that out. But I also want to thank you guys listening right here. Because of the whole, you know, fix the bot for the bot comments, I've been getting so much more comments and things from people who are getting my stuff in their sub feed again, because YouTube hates small creators. So please remember, if you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, because YouTube is mass unfollowing people and unsubscribing people when you didn't ask for it. And it's really irritating. So sometimes, even if, and not just me, all your favorite YouTubers, sometimes if you have nothing to say, drop an emoji in the box, comment something, feed that stupid algorithmic bot, because it helps us get a reach out there, and it helps us also communicate with you guys to see that you guys, you know, care. And you really do. I had a blast. Thank you so much. Thank you as always to my amazing Patreon patrons. Without you guys, literally none of this would be possible. I really do mean that. And I will see you guys next time. And I will be seeing you guys for Artmas 2020. See you then. Bye.